Joined by Tim Penn, of course, one of the most popular cricketers in India, and also part of the Australia champions. The Australia champions, Tim, incidentally, is doing very well. Maybe another title loading for the Australians, huh?
Yeah, maybe. We were a bit rusty early in the tournament. We were a bit old, obviously, and haven't played much recently. So I think we're sort of building nicely, and boys are getting not as sore after every game, and we're building towards the back end of the tournament. So we're going pretty well at the moment, but still a long way to go.
You don't look old, not at all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel it, that's for sure, especially this morning.
And the knock last night.
Yeah, we had a good game last night. So Dan Christian obviously went berserk, hit about 10 sixes. We're in a bit of trouble. Harbhajan bowled beautifully, so he still got it and knocked a few of us over. But yeah, Dan Christian came out and played a really, really good innings and ended up with 200 on the board. And then our bowlers came out and did a really good job, as they have for the whole of the tournament so far.
Tim, do you like the concept of Legends cricket now? Now that the standard has gone up, it's not just competing with names, but also with the quality of cricket.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's the important thing. I mean, the having the names is obviously really important, but I think you got to deliver on the product as well. And I think it's noticeable this tournament compared to other ones. Guys have actually done a bit of work, got themselves a bit fitter. And some of the really big names, like you see Yuvraj last night, batted really well. Yusuf Pathan batted really well. Harbhajan Singh bowled beautifully. So, these guys now are into their 40s, but have kept themselves in reasonable shape. And the same on our team. Brett Lee's still bowling well. He's not bowling 150 plus kilometres anymore, but it still looks like Brett Lee. And Sean Marsh and Dan Christian last night. Aaron Finch has been batting beautifully. So I think you're right. It's great to have the names, but it's nice in this one the standard's been raised a little bit, and now we've got to try and keep it there.
You're making headlines in the land of old Blighty for your statement on the health of English cricket.
Yes. Well, again, they're not the biggest fan of me over here, which is fine, but I was asked a question about it and I answered it. So, that's the job of people in the media, isn't it? We have to have an opinion, and when you're asked questions, you'd look silly if you didn't answer it. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I think the World Chess Test Championship reflects where they're at, and I think the way they talk at times doesn't quite marry up to where they are.
It's a fair reflection as well. I mean, you look at the performance. Yes, they've been entertaining. Yes, it's a new concept, but at times, you overdo that a little bit. Yeah,
and I'm the same as you. I've said the same on my radio show at home. I really enjoy watching them play. I like what they're trying to do. I like the mindset of it. And it is great. It is entertaining. And I think more teams should try and play like they do. They try and win games. They're trying to score quickly. They're trying to bowl teams out, and they're doing it in a fairly aggressive way. But at the moment, their performance isn't quite where it's at. But as I said, I really like the style of cricket they're trying to play. But maybe I think it's important with cricket you let your game do the talking and say a little bit less about it.
Tim, you mentioned the World Test Championship final. I mean, in a year's time, maybe it could be India versus Australia yet again. It'll depend on the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Australia this summer.
Yeah, I think they're the two best teams in the world at the moment in that format. No doubt about that. I think Australia will have, sort of David Warner dropping out of that team that they had last year, and he's been a mainstay and one of the best players for a long time. So that's a huge hole they'll have to fill. They've tried with Steve Smith. We're not sure how long that will continue, if he'll continue to do that during the Australian summer. But if he does, we know he'll have his work cut out for him with Aaron Finch said they won't be doing that in the background. So, but look, India's attack in Australia will be hard work for the Aussies. I think both batting teams are going to get a real working over. It's going to be a bit like it was last time the Indians came. It was a bit of a war of attrition. Guys were getting hit on the body a lot. It was hard work to score runs, and I think that'll be the same come next summer.
And people do look forward to the Border-Gavaskar Trophy as much as they do for the Ashes, it seems, in modern day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that healthy rivalry is building year on year, and I think it's continued to, particularly as India's fast bowling stocks have grown and grown, because it used to be really competitive If we'd come to Australia, go to India, we'd normally get spun out. But if we came to Australia, India came to Australia, it was normally very one-sided. But I think now with the likes of Siraj and Bumrah, you got some real pace and some real competitors and some real depth in your fast bowling stocks. And I know our batters see India as a real challenge now in Australia. It's actually, the sort of attack that you actually lose a bit of sleep over. I can tell you that when you have to face them in Brisbane and in Perth. Whereas they were places that we used to love taking India to play, and now you get a bit of your own medicine back at you with your fast bowlers.
Yeah, and could actually be the last crack for somebody like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in Test cricket in Australia.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be great for Australian fans to see them, the two of the best players of the modern era across all formats, and two great, entertaining and nice on the eye batters. So look, I think the crowds are going to be enormous come the summer here, and those guys and Bumrah, the big stars, Rishabh Pant back. It's going to be a real blockbuster series. As you said, it's something now that Australian and Indian cricketers look forward to. I think they're nearly the biggest series in the calendar.
Thank you so much, Tim.
No worries. Thanks for having me.